So reading this morning from Canto 1, Chapter 2, text number 14. 1, 2, 14. Tasmad ekena manasa Bhagavan sattvatam patihi Shrotavya kirtitavyascha Jaya pujascha nityada Tasmad ekena manasa Bhagavan sattvatam patihi Shrotavya kirtitavyascha Jaya pujascha nityada. Therefore, with one pointed attention, one should constantly hear about, glorify, remember, and worship the personality of Godhead, who is the protector of his devotees, of the devotees. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. If realization of the absolute truth is the ultimate aim of life, it must be carried out by all means. In any one of the above-mentioned castes and orders of life, that's the previous verse, the four processes, namely glorifying, hearing, remembering, and worshiping, are general occupations. Without these principles of life, no one can exist. Activities of a living being involve engagements in these four different principles of life, especially in modern society. All activities are more or less dependent on hearing and glorifying. Any man from any social status becomes a well-known man in society within a very short time if he is simply glorified. Truly or falsely, in the daily newspapers, sometimes political leaders of a particular party are also advertised by newspaper propaganda, and by such a method of glorification, an insignificant man becomes an important man within no time. But such propaganda, by false glorification of an unqualified person, cannot bring about any good, either for the particular man or for the society. There may be some temporary reactions to such propaganda, but there's no permanent effect. No, there are no permanent effects. Therefore, such activities are a waste of time. The actual object of glorification is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has created everything, manifested before us. We have broadly discussed this fact from the beginning of Janmadhyasya sloka of this Bhagwatam. The tendency to glorify others or hear others must be turned to the real object of glorification, the Supreme Being, and that will bring happiness. So that's our topic in Northeastern and Brandeis is happiness. There's the happiness formula. So, to review, these initial verses of Canto 1, Chapter 2, they're very important. They're essence verses, and in the essence verses are in response to the first of 6 questions found in Chapter 1. The sages of Naimisharanya are asking Sutta, who has just heard the Bhagwatam and has studied all the Vedas from his father, what's the essence? Please. of all the vast body of Vedic literature. So how are you going to answer that question? So it takes several verses, and those several verses we've been discussing make up the foundation text for the rest of the Bhagwatam, or the rest of the Bhagwatam are expanding on these points. And even these verses, they're some of the same nomenclature used in these verses is referring to the previous verses, like this one. You know, the varnashram system from previous. And what's the purpose of what is it, and what's the purpose of it? The purpose of the Vedas is, as we know from Bhagavad Gita, is to know the absolute truth, to know Krishna. Vedaishcha Sayarvar Aham Eva Vedyo. To know Krishna. So, to know Krishna how? So the minimally, the social structure is introduced in the Varna Ashram system, and those Varna Ashram systems, details of it are for one purpose. What's the one purpose? Sanksiddhir Haritoshanam. That's the purpose. Hari Toshanam. That the Supreme should be Toshanam, should be satisfied or pleased. That's the aim. And if one maintains that aim or objective in all of one's activities, then keep making steps, following that aim or that objective or that goal, that purpose. And slowly, one may get there, or one will get there, following the proper channels, or the proper teachers and proper teachings, and so forth. That's previous verses. Now, how is that to be done? So there are some qualifiers. This is ekena manasa. We spent some time in both the two university classes about the mind, our friend, or enemy, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. And if that mind is directed ekena manasa towards that objective, haritoshanam, then the mind is the friend. And if not, you got a problem. It's very, very close to you, the mind. A friend, an enemy. Bhagavan Sattvatam Patihi. So Pati, he is the Lord or Father, the source, the one to be the object of. So these four activities from the purport, these four activities go on anyways. Spiritual, material, spiritual. They go on anyways. And so the back to the question from chapter 1, the essence of the Vedas is these four activities are to be directed by practice and by culture and by proper intelligence, proper wisdom, proper teachers and teachings towards one thing. Ekena manasa. The Hari should be pleased. It's fantastic, simple definition given to us by Rupa Goswami of what bhakti is. It's very simple. Very simple. There are so many things that life is made up of, and those so many things, they're subordinate to or secondary. They follow behind one thing, ekena manasa, or Krishna is to be pleased, haritoshanam. So the language in Rupa Goswami's definition is, the language is different, but the principle is the same as what's here. Or Rupa Goswami's teachings are the teachings of Bhagwatam. Rupa Goswami's teachings are the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, which are the teachings of Bhagwatam. So it's seamless. The sound vibration details may sound a little different, that's nice, perfectly okay, and because it's coming from the right source, and the right source, we know the right source. Vyasadeva compiled the Bhagwatam under the order of Narada Muni upon what's described in the 7th chapter. He fixed his mind in samadhi upon the absolute truth, the personality of Godhead. And as Narada instructed, sure enough, he had some experience in that samadhi, and that experience resulted in the Bhagwatam. So here we are, hearing Srimad Bhagwatam. And in the case of Bhagavad Gita, it's Krishna speaking. In the case of the Bhagavatam, it's speaking about Krishna. So one is Bhagavan and the other is Bhagavata. And the Bhagavata, properly delivered, is seamlessly non-different. However, expanded in details, like the graduate study is the expanded version of the undergraduate study, like that. So there's nothing in the Bhagavatam that's not in principle in Bhagavad Gita, and vice versa. Seamlessly the same, but more expanded. Just like these simple verses. And there's several points or collections of verses in the Bhagavatam that one can say, rightly so, they are essences of the entire Bhagavatam. For example, the Chaturshloki verses in Canto 2, Chapter 9, 4 verses, essence of the Bhagavatam. Or, in some cases, the first three chapters of Canto 1, essence. One can even say starting chapter 2 and 3, because chapter 1 is the questions and 2 and 3 are the answers to those 6 questions. And that's the Bhagavatam in a compressed form. So they're very important to understand the Bhagavatam, to understand the absolute truth. And one can say, gosh, I'm far away. And, that's honest. We're far away. At the same time, that far away position, the gap can be closed by these two things, the effort and mercy, that make up the bhakti process. Effort and mercy. Krishna's ready. Are we? And yeah, more or less. And then the less has to become more. And then there's some experience. Some experience. Krishna may choose to reveal himself more. The same Bhagavatam for everybody. It's been a nice meditation, the Bhadra Purnima meditation on. And so many people got Srimad Bhagavatam sets all around the world. Now what? The distribution, now what? And there's more to come. And then what? So then some people will read and some people will sit on their shelf. And then some people will read. So different stages of realization. But it's all good absolute. That's the nature of the bhakti process. There's the starting point and then the maturing of the starting point, the seed, and then the fructification of the seed. And further and further and further, and depending on where we are, there's no... The ocean has a bottom, and this is an ocean that doesn't have a bottom. The Bhakti Rasa Sindhu has no bottom. Could you put the phone down? Thank you. Bhakti Rasa Sindhu, Amrita. And that's the Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu is an aspect of, one can say, the essence of. Bhakti is the essence of understanding the personality of Godhead. The Bhagwatam is to lead us to the personality of Godhead, so it's all Bhakti Rasa. And right in the first 3 verses, composed by Vyasadeva, Pibata Bhagwatam Rasamalayam. It's right there. Do. That's what Bhagwatam is. It's rasa, bhakti rasa. And then details and details and details and details and details and details and details. But it's besides the details, that to understand the essence is good. So here's some platforms of that essence. 4 things. Hear, chant, remember, and glorify, or worship. Hear, chant, or glorify. So the ear, the mouth, the mind. Hear, chant, remember, or hear, glorify, remember, and worship. That's like the heart. So the worship isn't just an incense stick and ring a bell. Worship is what the heart does, or the seat of consciousness does. Naturally, the worship or the affection for some object has a lot to do with what one hears and chants. That's, anything. Prabhupada's example here is politicians. It can be, a sports hero. It can be something. Then the modes of nature move that worship in different ways. Goodness, passion, ignorance. And so those objects, the message of the Bhagwatam, how Prabhupada writes it here, the tendency to glorify others and hear others must be turned to real object of glorification, the Supreme Being, and that will bring happiness. Like there's a clue to your theme for Northeastern and Brandeis. And how to help people understand it. That's the knowledge, and then comes the experience of that knowledge. Some will go there and some won't. Some will drop out. That's okay. That having heard that message, that's a lasting benefit for such a person. We want that spark to become a flame, but you begin, you give that sound vibration, and different living entities are going to process it differently. But the objective is to just change the focus. Adjust the focus to the object, subject, object, and thus rasa. An exchange between the subject and object. And that exchange is rasa. Bhakti rasa is a nice topic. Bhakti rasa. I like the topic. So let's see if there's some discussion. It's 7:45. And there's been some nice discussion the last few days, so I thought we'd spend time with our discussion activity. Comments or questions? Yes?
Wait.
There's some people online, probably.
Maharaj, you mentioned that There is nothing in the Bhagavatam which is not already in the Bhagavad Gita.
Vice versa.
Maharaj, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about karma and karma yoga, niskama karma yoga and sakama karma yoga, and jnana yoga and ashtanga and
yes,
so many things.
so many things.
But in the beginning of the Bhagavatam itself, Vyasadeva seems to indicate that the dharma projita kaitavo. He says,
but that's where. Excuse me for interrupting. Presently, with the Chinese devotees, I'm focusing. We've gotten to 9th canto. The entire 9th canto is replete with the Projita folks. The mixed, and then the consequences of mixed, and then the power of unmixed, and so the 9th canto it's there in the Bhagwatam. To understand something, you can also explain what it's not. Or a good definition is both inclusive and exclusive. So to understand the message of the Bhagavatam, which is what you indicated, what Vyasadeva writes, the compare-contrast system of education is there. And it's not just 9th canto, it's all over the place. People that follow something other than Shuddha Bhakti. And they're not even trying to become to Shuddha Bhakti, they're doing something else. And then there's consequences. And the unintended consequences. Okay.
Guru Maharaj, we say that the soul is Satchitananda. Basically, the knowledge is there within the soul.
You saying, I didn't say.
Yes, Maharaj, I'm just
I didn't say. Go ahead.
So, when there is devotion in the heart, like whatever knowledge has to be revealed, it will be revealed by the Lord inside.
Yes.
So, I recently just stretched this a little bit further. I was speaking in a world religion class, I was invited. And I stretched it, and I want to clarify that. So is it that even like Lord knows the entire, how the spiritual world and material world functions, so the material knowledge also, or the laws are also known to the Creator or to the Lord. So through devotion, like, is it true that all the material knowledge that we are there in the universities to study is within part of the soul?
No.
And
it's not that we're inherent on the soul platform, we're encyclopedia. That's not the understanding. It's not a correct understanding. We know everything. We just have to discover. All material knowledge is within us. It's there. We just have to excavate. That's not it's not the teaching of the Bhagavatam or the Bhagavad Gita.
so what is the right understanding, Maharaj? What is the right understanding of knowledge?
Of which?
Knowledge that is there as part of our soul.
The potential is there. Now, you want to focus on spiritual or material knowledge, or both? Both, that's you, okay. Potential is there for spiritual knowledge, but the potential is covered. The soul is Sat, soul is eternal, and the soul can be described as Sat. The soul can also be described as Satchitananda, depending upon the connection of the soul with Satchitananda. To that degree, the tiny soul can have the tiny chit and tiny ananda, but otherwise Sat. We're eternal. Now, that's spiritual knowledge. Now, what about the material knowledge? That super soul can give remembrance, mataksmir jnanam apohanam cha, jnanam, material knowledge. Krishna can give that to somebody. Just like your daughters and their skill in music. Just, not to pick on them, but just as an example. It's not inherent in them that they already know how to play violin. It's a gift that may be given. Or, somebody knows how to hook up all these wires and make something happen. It's not a gift that's already within, it just has to be discovered. But so knowledge can be given by super soul how to do this and that and the other thing. It's a gift. And super soul isn't obliged because I'm a devotee that I'm going to understand how to play violin or hook up all these wires and make something happen. Some people have a liking, and super soul may not give them more or less understanding of technology or different types of technology. Anyway, so material knowledge is a gift of super soul, and he may or may not. It's like students in school, some persons and some persons. And there's different factors in the background that can help determine whether someone is endowed with the acumen to understand something, engineering, or whatever it is that they're studying. Material knowledge, super soul, gift. Variable, primarily upon guna and karma, but how prakriti works, guna and karma, the laws of nature.
Yes, Maharaj, I understood that it's the relationship with the Lord and connection with Krishna and His mercy, whatever He desires will be revealed.
Yes. That's why, and that's one of the explanations why it's so important to make that connection. And then there's different connections and different degrees of each type of connection. This yoga, that yoga, the other yoga. Different degrees of perfection of the different types of yoga. But, make a choice and have a good teacher and then move. By the grace of God, who's not obliged, because I'm taking the steps. I'm following checking the boxes. It's not how it works. We may have to do that. We may not have to do that. Krishna can bestow something on somebody that is zero preparation.
Thank you.
Maharaj, if I may ask a question continuing on the same topic. In the Isha Upanishad, in the 11th verse, I will read, Maharaj, the translation. Only one who can learn the process of nescience and that of transcendental knowledge side by side can transcend the influence of repeated birth and death and enjoy the full blessings of
immortality. So there's an answer to your question. Now, what's your question, this one?
So this emphasizes...
both.
This emphasizes the material knowledge also.
Let's do the compare-contrast explanation. Supposing I'm this new person. I'm a college kid out there. I'm not yet a Hare Krishna Bhakta. I'm a new kid, striving for spirituality, and I don't really know what it is. But I want to know. So then it takes this compare contrast. So I'm not going to fully understand nescience without fully understanding transcendence. To fully understand transcendence, I have to understand what nescience is. And it's not just, it's not this, not this, not this, but what is it? But to understand what it is, the same statement. A good definition is both inclusive and exclusive. Same, this statement. And then to have proper knowledge, I have a clear understanding of both. You know, what's light and what's darkness, and shades of light and shades of darkness. And that person can enter and gets the full blessings of immortality. But so, question, is the process of Gyan sufficient to answer no? Because then I won't have a full understanding, proper and full understanding of transcendence and nescience side by side. Of a partial. Okay?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. My question is, it's relating to Samsiddhi Haritoshanam and one quality of soul. Basically,
one quality of soul.
One of the qualities of the soul with reference to Samsiddhi Haritoshanam. So, how open our heart should be, or how transparent we should be with others, with ourselves, or should we hold something, or what does it take to do Samsiddhi Haritoshanam?
Transparency should be with persons who are qualified to understand transparency. I mean, here's an example. Here's two examples. During this weekend on the boat in the Boston Harbor, we heard twice from our MC his first-hand experience of Prabhupada indicating only lightly, and you have to be a poetic person to read between the lines because he didn't say the whole thing, that he was the chosen person that was predicted long ago that would manifest Krishna consciousness all over the world. He didn't say all those things, but so he kept it in. So some things you don't disclose. Or, the second example, what was Prabhupada's eternal rasa, his swarup, his spiritual position? He didn't discuss it. Did he know? Of course he knew. Did he discuss it? No. And maybe somebody somewhere, some very super, triple super confidential person, maybe he discussed it? No. No evidence that he did. Etc. So on principle, not everything. And then some things are discussed, and then depending upon the circumstance, the receiver and the broadcaster, then, some things are disclosed and some things aren't. You had something, no? Of course,
I was thinking about something. We have so many verses talking about the processes of devotional service. Like Prahlad Maharaj talks about the 9 processes of devotional service, which essentially is a more superset of the processes that are discussed here, the four
Yes.
of them.
Okay.
And then also in Bhagavad Gita 9.34, 18.65, we have Manmana Bhava Madbhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. There are slight variations, and also they are kind of correlatable, so to speak. And they are placed in different contexts. Like if you want to go back to Godhead, perform these 4 activities. Here in this context, if you want to please Krishna, because in the previous verse it was about pleasing Krishna, you perform these 4 activities. And then I'm just trying to understand the choice of those subset. Like, is there a specific?
It's very simple. Keep it simple. Don't get over analytical. That's my recommendation. There's different lenses you can look at the same thing. And this lens, you look and you see this. Fantastic. That lens, same thing. Is this one better? Well, your question is what are the it's the speaker of the Bhagwatam that chooses to look through this lens and express this.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same object. Mm-hmm. If this is right, then is that wrong? Or if that's right, then is this one's wrong? They're not right or wrong. It's the source is a perfect source, and we're getting the picture of the perfect source looking at the same object through a different lens.
Yeah, I was not thinking so much about right or wrong, but more about why certain emphasis is placed on certain
the selection
activities.
Process. It's the transcendental autocrat can decide. He doesn't need us to double guess him.
And also we have a beautiful section in the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna talks about how to become dear to him. So I kind of was thinking about how to please the Supreme Lord. So
okay.
There the qualities were emphasized, and therefore I'm correlating that by doing these 4 activities, those qualities will come out.
There's the why, and then there's the what and the how. And the what and the how can vary. But in principle, the why is. And then there's lakshana, or characteristics or qualities that indicate this is an individual has the why. But this doesn't limit the way the expressions.
Mm-hmm.
The essence is not the what and the how. The essence is please the Supreme Personality. That's very simple definition of bhakti. Rupa Goswami gave us. Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam, or Hari Toshanam, same. You have something. No? Yes? Here's the microphone.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. If we have various flavors of desires.
If you have what kind?
Some various flavors of desires.
Various flavors of desires.
To use in service. In some flavors, we are getting the opportunity, we are able to serve. In some flavors, we may not get the opportunity or we may not get the training. But the desire still remains.
Okay.
So what do we do with those desires? Do we convince ourselves this is not the service that Krishna wants me to do or Guru wants me to do? And
do you really do that? Why are you asking this question? Do you really try to convince yourself I shouldn't, Krishna doesn't want me to do this for him? Do you really do that? Why are you asking the question? This is the why. Why are you asking the question?
Because I have that.
You have that tendency.
Yeah. So I'm not able to differentiate. What should I do with the desire?
What was what?
So I'm not able to understand what to do with that desire.
Oh, you put it in the parking lot.
Yeah. It keeps coming up when there is a
It's okay. It's okay.
Environment.
It's okay. It's okay. And then, quietly, privately, along with all the other things that are expected of you, that are very clear and obvious and, weighing on you, pressing on you.
Mm.
It's in your parking lot. And from time to time you go, privately, quietly do some of that.
Okay.
Between you and Krishna, it's a relationship. And the essence is not how well you do that thing that you have the desire. You have some training and now you become a superlative something something. It's just relationship. You offer to Krishna according to your capacity, along with the other things that are very clearly identified as duty. Your service to Krishna, like your family or whatever. And at a certain stage of life, something's going to happen. Your children are going to grow up. And they're not going to be under the same roof with you. And, there'll be an opportunity, that parking lot stuff, you can go and do that parking lot stuff. It didn't go away. You didn't trash it. Didn't push it out. And if it's meaningful and, you'll still be there. Okay. Third question. Look at this. Okay, let's go.
Maharaj, so if one is not able to get to a stage where he or she chants Shuddha Nam, but if he continues to do Namabhas, can he still go back to Godhead?
What do you think?
Does it?
You need a ticket? It's a relationship. So you continue to strive, and Krishna will continue to be merciful. And may your striving, or such a person's striving, continue and continue and, continue. And Krishna will smile and say, all right. The mercy may pour upon such a person, or may not. But what is Krishna looking for? Krishna is looking for, of course, it's through his representative pure devotees, but Krishna is looking to see, does he really want me? You know that one. So that's from your side, from that person's, the sadhaka's side that's in Namabhas stage. Does that Namabhas sadhaka really want Krishna? Or, any one of n number of different options to identify as what they really want. So the criterion is the aspiration and endeavor that matches the aspiration. The mercy is there. So what do we want? And how does that person demonstrate that they want, and they really want? However long it takes, I really want. So that's the criterion. Krishna can lift that person. Or just encourage the person to continue in the Namabhas stage, according to what they want. It's a relationship. The very nice thing about bhakti is it's love. It's a relationship. It's a detail. It's worth saying the detail. Krishna gives that power of attorney to his representative pure devotee. If that representative pure devotee sends a text message to Krishna, he or she really wants you. So Krishna then gives the mercy. So you can leave that particular detail out, but that's an important detail. Krishna is not merciful to some and holds back his mercy unto others. This is This is Madhurya Kandambani. The stage of going beyond, the limited sadhana or the preliminary stages of sadhana. It's the mercy of the representative of Krishna who has the power of attorney, because otherwise Krishna is responsible for being kind to some and not kind to others, but he's not. He gives the power of attorney. That's the system. So he is Samoham Sarvabhuteshu. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.